You're Billy. Billy feels like he needs to get fast as shit, so he says he needs to get his squat up because when you get strong, you get fast. But he's still slow after getting his squat up to 350 pounds. Now you're Sasuke. Sasuke is one of the fastest shinobi in the Leaf Village, and he deadlifts. But when he first started deadlifting, he saw little to no gains, and all he wanted to do was get even faster than what he was. Both of these little kids are just wondering what is the best variation for them. I bet you're wondering what is the best exercise for vertical jump. You have the surfer bros who told you just squat, bro, get your squat up, and you have some other surfer guys who are just like, man, just deadlift as much as you can, brody. I'm going to teach you today the best way to find out if you should be squatting versus deadlifting for a vertical jump. You're also going to learn these specific and special types of squats and deadlifts so you can actually make yourself run faster and jump higher. The first thing you need to know is if you're a pusher or a puller type of athlete. Both type of athletes actually have their strengths and their weaknesses. The pusher type of athlete is usually much more knee dominant, a little bit shorter, and usually bad at the more hip dominant exercises like deadlifts, broad jumps, hip thrusts, and short sprints. While some can be good at short sprints, but it really depends on like the way their build is. Usually these guys, like I said earlier, are a little bit shorter and a little bit heavier, around 5'6" to 5'11", but they're very good at full range of motion lifts. They're the type of guys that are just naturally squatting crazy numbers in high school and even can deadlift a little bit if they have, you know, some compensations in their form. I am personally one of these type of athletes. Actually, I've been a pusher my entire life. I'm 5'7", 5'8", and I'm very good at squat. I've been squatting 400 plates. I was squatting 400 pounds since I was literally in high school, but it doesn't like make me a really good athlete. Usually the puller type of athletes are actually a lot better genetically, but I've always been a pusher my entire life, and you probably are if you got a really good squat but your deadlift's just a little bit whack, and maybe you're really good at like the first 5 steps of a 10-meter sprint, but then like at the end, you just like that middle portion, 10 to 30, you just like lose it and you don't really know what's going on. I usually struggle with that, but I'm going to teach you how to fix that with the right lifting variations. The puller type of athlete is usually better at traditional deadlifts, your hip thrusts, your actual vertical jumps, and even your top end sprinting, you know, your 10-meter flies, your 40-yard dashes. They are also very good at single leg jumping, but when they try to get into 2-foot jumping, sometimes the angles that they need to hit can be a little bit awkward, and that's where you'll see the shorter people really benefit from the really long penultimate 2-foot jumps, you know, the 5'6" guys who are jumping like crazy with the right left plants. Like I said, these guys are usually a little bit longer, so they might be over 6 foot, you know, 5'10" for girls and up, and 6 foot, 6'3", 6'6", and they have a longer torso and longer legs. When you have longer legs and you have a longer lower limb like complex, you actually might end up having a very long Achilles. This is what allows them to be very elastic, and elasticity is going to be one of the biggest driving factors to be very bouncy when you're jumping or when you're, you know, sprinting. This is important because you need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of both. Some people might be both, but you're usually going to lean towards one type of athlete. There's even the type of athlete like an ankle athlete who's really bouncy, but like I said, you're usually going to find those in the puller type of athletes who are very just stiff and bouncy off the ground. They're usually pretty fast in top end sprint. If you're a pusher type of athlete, you're usually going to excel in squats, but you're going to struggle with posterior chain, which is like your glute and your hamstrings activation. So this is going to affect your speed and vertical because you need a lot of glute contractions, which is, you know, how much you can squeeze your glute at fast rates to be able to actually have a good start. And then when you're trying to jump, you can't actually bring in speed to your vertical jump if your glutes aren't as even as your quads. So if your quads are dominating, which is what you're going to see when you see a pusher type of athlete, knee dominant, they're going to have very strong quads, then they're not going to be able to bring in the speed and actually have a balanced jump, and they're just going to go flop to the side instead of actually putting in speed, stopping it, and bouncing straight up, you know, with that horizontal speed to the vertical. If you're a puller type of athlete, you're going to exceed in the deadlifts and the hip thrusts. This is really important because, like I said, the posterior chain is one of the most important, you know, aspects of being athletic, but you're going to struggle with quad development and strength. So that's why the front squat actually might be perfect for you, but watch to the end so I can explain it in better detail. Now that you found out your athletic type, comment down below if you're a knee dominant or a pusher type of athlete or a puller type of athlete who excels in deadlifts and hip thrusts. Let me know, and also tell me why you're that type of athlete. Now that you know what type of athlete you are, you need to know what squat and deadlift variations you need for your body type and for your sport. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you my opinion on what exercise is truly better, the squat or the deadlift. If you want to improve your acceleration speeds for your 0 to 20 seconds, that kind of first step explosion, then I think the conventional deadlift and the split squat, full range of motion, barbell squat is going to be your best exercise to improve those aspects. If you're trying to improve top end sprinting speed and single leg jump, then your quarter squats, the really heavy quarter squats, and your quarter trap bar deadlifts, which is just an elevated plate under the trap bar, maybe 1 to 2 plates under, are going to be your best options. If your goal is to improve 2-foot approach jumps, then pistol squats, heavy half squats, and trap bar jumps are going to be your best option to improve the 2-foot approach jump. Now lastly, if your goal is to improve like the pure standstill, like just standing vertical jump, which I don't know why anyone would do that, that's really useless. Like if you do that in the middle of a game, you're literally down bad. Like if you catch a ball in the middle of a basketball game and you go all the way into a deep squat and jump up like you would do in like a heavy deep squat, then like you're down bad. Like you fucked up. Like you really messed up and you probably are gonna get injured. But some people like to improve that stuff. So I guess we really care about our just standing vertical jump. So if you want to improve that, then the best lifts are gonna be, you know, your regular heavy deep squats, which for some reason everyone thinks helps everything else when it really doesn't. And then deficit deadlifts, which is like you're elevated on 2 bumper plates and you're just doing like a longer range of motion deadlift. But like I said, you shouldn't want this as a goal. Your regular standing jumps don't convert at all into actual sport. Like you'll never do a regular standing jump in football or in sprinting or in high jump or any of that. So you should be like looking to improve the 2-foot approach jump or the single foot jump. Now here is my opinion on what the best lift is, like literally the best lift. I say it's the squat just due to the amount of variations you have in your arsenal. You can literally target every single joint angle, every peak force, you know, newtons of force, every single muscle ever you need in a squat by itself. It's important to know the right squat and deadlift variations, so make sure you watch this video right here of the top 4 strength exercises for vertical jump and speed. See y'all later.